Taoiseach, thank you for joining me today. You just met with the board of the American Chamber of Commerce. What's the key message you had to deliver to them and to the members of the American Chamber?
My key message is that the government is going to implement its mandate, which is to fix the problem with our public finances, put our people back to work, and provide an environment and a business atmosphere that will demonstrate that by 2016 we're going to be the best small country in the world in which to do business.
The government has been steadfast in its commitment to 12.5%. What kind of commitment is the government giving around discussions around tax harmonisation in Europe?
The corporation tax rate of 12.5% has been fundamental to our foreign direct investment strategy for many years. We've been very consistent on that. No change, there will be no change. It's broad, it's transparent, it's very important for Ireland. In respect of the common consolidated corporate tax base, we do not support this. The European Commission have a legal responsibility to produce legislative proposals, and we will discuss those. But we are not supporters of the common consolidated corporate tax base.
In the programme for government, the government is committed to radical public sector reform. How do you believe this will manifest itself, and how will it aid Ireland's competitiveness in the world?
Well, it started within government itself, because for the first time we've split what was originally a Department of Finance into two separate ministries, one with a finance portfolio and the other with a remit and responsibility for public expenditure and reform. That means we're looking for leanness, we're looking for efficiency, we're looking for cost effectiveness in the way that public monies are spent in order to increase competitiveness, drive down costs, and make the atmosphere and environment more opportune for business to do business. And besides all of that, we've got a very young, talented workforce. We have flexibility within our education system to meet the needs and the requirements of American business, whether that's in IT or software or whatever. And the Minister for Education is introducing radical plans to deal with that flexibility, because we are conscious of the changes in trends over the last number of years, and we will remedy that as time goes on.
Taoiseach, you have been very forthright in recognising there are certain skill gaps in industry, particularly in ICT and engineering. And the Minister has been very forthright, the Minister for Education, in the need for reform. For you, what is the key reform that's going to amend the education system to meet the future requirements?
I think it's an understanding of what the requirements are for the future. And obviously you can't have that without interaction between business and the education sectors. At my meeting with the Chamber here today, we discussed a greater potential between second level and business and between third and fourth level and business, because while it's difficult for young people to accurately determine what it is that they want to do when they're in their mid-20s, it's very important that they would have a general view from business as to where the waves are going to be over the next 5 to 10 years, whether that be in IT or particular skills that are going to be required. And from our point of view, the Minister for Education is certainly up to create a situation where you're going to have that flexibility and that capacity to deal with the requirements of business, and we can meet that challenge and we'll meet it.
Finally, Taoiseach, you have expressed a vision to make Ireland the best small country in the world to do business in. How do you think that will manifest itself in terms of the objectives that need to be reached to achieve that?
Well, it's going to manifest itself when we get back to a point of being able to borrow on the bond markets ourselves, return to our own economic independence and sovereignty. But it also means that at that stage we're going to have introduced a system for flexibility for macro financing of very small firms, of credit partial loan guarantees for smaller business, to complement the huge trade surplus which we now have from foreign direct investment. It also means a recognition of Irish workers' productivity that can match anywhere around the world once the cost base has been reduced. So we're working in the area of energy cost reduction, of cutting out red tape, of removing administrative obstacles to business doing business. And we have an open door for business to government to work with business in the interests of all the people of the country. I like to think that people are happy going to work in the knowledge that they're contributing to their economy to their own lives and to the company for which they work in a global sense. So the potential is enormous. Equally so the challenge is, but there's never been a better time to be in politics and to work with business in everybody's interest. And the message I'm sending out is that on the centenary of the 1916 Rising, we will be the best small country in the world in which to do business, and this government is setting out with the intention of proving that.
Taoiseach, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you very much indeed.